Wine, beginning for Rabbi Wein, and then Wein from back in the days of Yeshiva days and making us, take a runaway. He's invited to stay. With Rabbi Wein, we'll sing a few words and sing with the steam as well.
Erev Tov, everyone. One of the questions that has troubled all of the Meforshim the centuries is where did the Meforshim, where did Chazal get the notion that Noach is, so to speak, imperfect, that we have to search and see what his problem was, when the Torah is explicit in complimenting Noach. Noach is tzaddik, tomi moya b'dorosov, so Elokim misalech Noach. I think any one of us would be more than satisfied if the Torah said that about us. So why did they pick on Noach? And Rashi naturally is concerned with it. The Rashi brings the Medrash. Tomi moya b'dorosov. In his generation, he was a tzaddik. But there's a Yesh Omerim. There are those who say that if he lived at the time of Avraham Avinu, he lo nachshav keklum, he wouldn't have been reckoned as anything special. Now, the problem with that is we don't compare people from different generations. In fact, the Gemara says, Yiftach b'doro, Shmuel b'doro. Yiftach, in his generation, he's the shofet, he's the righteous person, he's the Moshiach Shel Yisrael. There comes a different generation, and Shmuel is that person. So what happened to Noach? Why did he fall between the cracks? So the simple pshat is that there's Noach before the Mabul and Noach after the Mabul. Before the Mabul he is Tzadik Oyo B'dorosov, Tomi Oyo B'dorosov. After the Mabul, he's Vayochel Noach Isho Adoma. He fell from the state of grace that he had before the Mabul. As Rashi points out, Lo Hayot Tzorich, he shouldn't have started with vineyards and make a tavern and a liquor industry. That's the first thing you do after the Churban. The world is destroyed. So Noach himself lowered himself. By lowering himself, then he allowed us to see what imperfections lay within him that allowed him to fall from grace, so to speak. But there's a deeper understanding that appears in many Sorim. And that understanding is based upon the last posuk in Parshas Bereishis. In Parshas Bereishis, the last posuk says, "V'Noach motzachein v'hinei Hashem." That's grammatically incorrect. whenever you have the Torah speaks perfect Hebrew, just as we do. So when the Torah speaks imperfect Hebrew, so ein apostle hazeh omer el ador sheni. You have to take notice of that. Why did the Torah write it this way? It should say in the pasuk that Hashem motza chen b'Noach. Rabbi Shalom saw in Noach someone that appealed to him, that was worth. In other words, Noach should not be the subject of the pasuk. Kaviyachol Hashem should be the subject of the pasuk. Hashem motza chen b'Noach. So why did the Torah reverse it? Why did Torah say it imperfectly? Noach motza chen b'nei Hashem. So on that, the Medrash darshans, the Medrash says immediately, Noach motza chen, Hashem lo motza chen. Noach was the one that felt gratified. And says the Noach motza chen, and it doesn't mean that if motza chen b'nei Hashem, Noach was in a level where he felt that certainly in heaven they approved of him. Noach motza chen. And that's a trap that people fall into. Especially in generations or even times such as ours, where a great majority of the world is imperfect, sinful, violent, pretty much loony. So when we hold on to the corners of the Mizbeach, we have the Torah, and we have mitzvahs, and we have our own society, and we're doing good. So the tendency is to think that we really are good. That in heaven they must say, what a wonderful generation. Look at them. Look how wonderful they behave. And because of that, therefore, Chazal say, for instance, that people that don't have humility, that are balei gava, arrogant people, you can be a very observant Jew and be an arrogant person. My way or the highway. I know exactly what to do. So Chazal say, Ein ani b'hu yochol lodur b'tzrifa achas. There's no room for me with arrogant people. And I've mentioned to you many times before that the trait that the Torah repeats over and over again that differentiates Moshe Rabbeinu from everybody else, from all the Nevi'im, from everyone else, is humility, anova. He didn't feel that every action, so to speak, had the approbation of heaven. So we have this idea here regarding Noah. Noah Motzachei. Noah looks around at the world around him. It's a terrible world in every respect. There are no saving grace. Rashi brings the famous medrash that there weren't even 10. Mishuselach dies, so then the die is cast. That's it. So Noah says, look at me. I have Shem, Chom, and Yofes. I raised my family. I'm not part of that. And he had a sense of self-satisfaction. He felt he was worthy of being saved. We'll see that by Avram Avinu, that he says to the Ribono Shel Olam, Ma titein li? What am I entitled to? Nothing. Anochi ofer v'efer. Avram Avinu could say, oh, I threw myself into the furnace of Ur Kasdim. I'm Machn Sorach. I spread godliness in the world. Look, Anochi ofer v'efer. And that's the extreme that Chazal went to encourage humility. Ma'od, says in Pirkei Avos. Evei shval ruach. It's almost limitless. So this has to combine itself, I mentioned many times, with the fact that we have an ego. And without the ego, the world can't progress. And we can't progress either. Without the ego, we'd stay in bed all day. Which is always a possibility. So how do you balance it? So that's why the Torah tells us in great detail over the next few weeks in Chumash Bereishis the story of the founders of our people, of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, Yosef, and the Shvatim. It's a search for this balance. And because of the fact we're dealing with human beings, so it's always imperfect. So we'll see that Avram, the Mefarshim say, is far too kind to Yishmael. Look at the price that we pay for that. Or that Yitzchak is far too kind to Esau. Or that Yaakov discriminates on behalf of Yosef. You see what happens? Because that's the search for the balance. You have that in every family. You have that in every society. But the key to it is Ma'od Hevei Shval Ruach. Don't think that you have all the answers. Right? People that come often to me and they give me their opinions on all of the problems that face Israeli society. Haredim in the draft, the army, this, that, the Chiloni, they got the answer. I think that Yofei Shtika, keep quiet, because you certainly don't have the answer. So that's part of the nature that the Torah wants to describe here with Noach. Noach motzachein. He thought he had the answer. He thought he had everything figured out. So he's satisfied. The world can be destroyed. That's okay. And Chazal picked up on that, as they always do, because of their sensitivity to Torah. And they said, let's look at Noach. Told me, Moya Bedorosa, yeah, but if it would have been by Avram Avinu, it would have been nothing. Because Avram Avinu said, Orochi Ofo V'Efer, and Noach didn't. Noach felt he was worth being saved. It was justified. He earned it. So everything in life is a gift. Every day, every success, everything is a gift. And the person that feels that it's a gift learns to say thank you. Learns not to be arrogant about it. Learns to deal with it. And that's why we are called Bnei Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, but not Bnei Noach. Because of the fact that to us, everything should be a gift. And we should be blessed that the Lord should continue to bestow upon us all of the gifts that are necessary for our survival. Rabbi Chananya ben Akash Omer HaKadosh Baruch Hu Zakos Israel Chilach Hir B'Lahem Torah Mitzvot Shenemar I don't know if